Welcome, everybody. I'm Frankie J, host of the Frankie J Raw Show, here with our next show about who's in the Super Bowl. And with me, as always, I got T.O., who's going to pop up here now, and we are going to talk about the two teams in the Super Bowl, our thoughts about who's in the Super Bowl, who we think is going to win the Super Bowl, so on and so forth. Welcome, T.O. Thanks for being back, and welcome to the show. And also, thank you to Say down in the audience.
Well, thanks for having me again. Excited for another chance to talk a little football here.
Another weekend. Be there Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Super Bowl 57.
It's not this Sunday, it's the one after.
Be there next Sunday. Be there, be there, be there. So, yeah, some good championship games. And as I predicted, I must say, it was the Eagles and it was the Chiefs. Like I told you, I said that Brock Purdy would hit a wall and get a wake up call. And I think he did, Tio. What do you think?
Didn't take too long for him to hit that wall, that's for sure. Yeah, your predictions were right on. I should have took the home teams just like you. I mean, they came out, both home teams came out ready to go, but Philadelphia in particular really dominated that game from start to finish.
Yeah. Well, while we're talking about that, why don't we jump on to the trending news right now that everybody's talking about? Well, we'll do it in a different way. Tom Brady retired, and in my opinion, did it in I want to say in a respectful way. I was actually quite surprised at how quick and swift it was. I quit. I'm done. Thank you for everything. Thank you to everybody. There's too many to mention, and I retire. So goodbye. I've never seen a retirement speech like that, but I respect it because that's really all he had to say. What's your take on that, Gio?
Yeah,
I know you're a huge fan.
yeah, sure am. I'm happy that I'm happy that he's retired. But what was I going to say here? I, I I'm just happy he's gone. But I
Get
think
out of here.
it's kind of ironic because February 1st last year he also announced his retirement. That's when you got the big speech. So he's ready to move on, be a full time father here, and handle his business. So good for him. What a career he
But
had. Love or hate him, you can't deny that he was probably the best quarterback of all time.
he's not gonna have a regular life with his kids because if all goes as planned and as agreed upon, he's going to be an analyst for Fox, and he signed some sort of contract that's like 375 million guaranteed to be the number one guy above Greg Olson. So I mean, he's going to be traveling a lot for that. I mean, it's not going to be much different than football, except he's not going to be asking the referee to throw a flag for him. It's the only difference. He's not going to see his teammates naked anymore.
Yeah, well, that's tough for some for some people. It's definitely that's a that's an image I didn't
Yeah,
want in my head right
I
now.
didn't throw the image out there. I just threw the
But
fact out there.
jeepers, I mean, that's what he said he'll miss the most. So good
Yeah,
for him.
I mean, he's gonna have nightmares about that. He's gonna be like, what am I doing? Ah, I don't know what to do." It's gonna
You
be a
know,
movie.
it was a tough year for him. I mean, to have a
Poor guy.
divorce play out like that in front of everybody is tough. And
Poor guy.
I mean, I'm not trying to feel sorry for him, but he had a tough year, that's for sure.
I feel sorry for him.
I don't feel sorry
I
for
feel
him.
sorry that he had to retire so quickly and run off into the sunset like James Whitey Bulger. But hey, whatever.
Well,
Welcome, Tom.
throughout his whole career, he's never been hired to be the guy. Like I mean, he was the guy. In this point in his career, if he was to go anywhere, he needs pieces around him, and that's not the Tom Brady
Yeah.
way. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah, he
used.
has to have the ideal situation, the perfect receiver, the
Yeah,
perfect center who's gonna even go
that's not.
out and protect him at the bars. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that's not him. He could take any team to the promised land, and now it just seems as though if he was to go to San Fran, they're ready to go. Everything's built around him. That's not the Tom Brady way. So good for him to go out this way.
Yep.
Hopefully it sticks.
As a Bills fan, I can't say that I'm upset because I mean he was a thorn in our side for a few. I mean, 25 years. I mean, the guy was just an absolute thorn in our side. No matter where we played, when we played, who was our quarterback, who wasn't. He just absolutely just we could never beat the guy. and I had my feelings about him and his whole cheating thing. We talked about that yesterday on our show. I not real concerned about him leaving. I do wish him well. I don't want to see anybody have a bad retirement, but hopefully he's got a plan in place to, transition into society, to be a father and perhaps a soulmate to somebody else. I'm certain there's women on the speed dial waiting for him to call, but that's another day and another show. So we got Super Bowl 57. We got the Chiefs. We got the Eagles, and the Eagles picked to win. And I thought instead of talking about stats and all that horse crap, let's have a little bit of fun talking about Super Bowl 57 because we only have a short time on the show. Let's talk about like some of the myths of the Super Bowl. And you know the stats, you know the facts. And I found a really interesting one that this is this is the first Super Bowl where it marks first at a stadium with a legal sports book, meaning it's legal to bet fully on. It's a
I didn't know that, but that's going to be. I mean, there's only how many right now? I think there's 18, but they look to get about 46 states in
yeah,
on this betting. So, I mean, football is going to really. You thought it was a multi-billion-dollar industry now. Just
yeah,
wait and see.
and that's just one of those things that people don't think about. And then obviously it's the Kelsey brothers to face off in the Super Bowl. And for the first time in Super Bowl history, two brothers, they're going to square off. And um, in the NFL Super Bowl, Travis is 33, all pro tight end. And obviously his brother is a god at center, and he's a 35, six-time Pro Bowler. So they're both beasts. And then in this Super Bowl, Hurts and Mahomes are the first black QBs to meet in Super Bowl.
Really, did not know that.
I did not know that either. I did not know that. I
I
tried to
didn't even
think
know
back.
that Mahomes was black.
Yeah, he comes from a biracial family.
Okay,
I think his father's black and his mother's white, I believe.
he reminds me of Kermit the Frog so much.
You do it really good too. His voice.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Kermit the Frog. I think we have Tom that might want to ask a question, or he said sounds like prison. Sounds like prison. Oh man. But well, and it says here that back in 2013, Andy Reid actually fired Nick Sirianni.
He told him to go get a shine box. He
Told
got him out of here.
got him out of there, and now he's in the Super Bowl against them. So that was pretty cool. And I also read that Andy Reid set to face his former team, the Eagles, and the Eagles fired him in 13 after 14 years with the team. He posted a 4-12 record and missed the postseason for a second year, and he's looking for revenge on his former employer. The problem is the deal worked out well for everyone concerned. So we'll see what will happen. That should be, I like storylines. You know me, I like the storylines of games, especially big ones like the Super Bowl.
What's your
So
prediction?
my prediction is I'm gonna go with the Eagles on this one because I just think that they're a little healthier on the offensive side. Mahomes, obviously dealing with that spring. Kelsey with whatever his issue may be with the back, you could tell that he wasn't used a lot in the championship game. He was being cautious on not to get hit. So I don't
Well,
know
you know why? Because they
why.
had no receivers, so they just started double, triple team and Kelsey when all their receivers went down. Now you get a couple 2 weeks to get healthy. Maybe Kansas City can get some of these receivers back on the field. I have a tough time betting against Andy Reid. I personally think he's probably the best coach,
But
in
he
my
taught
opinion.
Sirianni and fired him. So
I get that, but the way he put together that game plan last week, it was phenomenal to me. I mean, Cincinnati, let alone having one of the better quarterbacks, has three
WKRP
great
in
receivers.
Cincinnati. Remember that?
Yeah, I sure do. And he shut them down. And Andy Reid, to me, just is a. You talk about game planning and making adjustments at halftime. He's one of the best, and I got a tough time going against him. But I do like Hurts too. I like the Eagles. I like everything they've done this year.
Okay.
As a
I
fan, I'm
like
just
the Super
excited.
Bowl. I like the Super Bowl because it's not the Patriots and it's an NFC team that is worthy. Philadelphia is a loyal fan base. I mean, there's movies made about them. The movie Invincible, and you can't help but fall in love with the movie and the story and the history of the team. So, I like the Eagles being there. They deserve it. They played all year. They won, and they deserve to be there. Kansas City, you can do the voice. I can't. Kermit the Frog. Mahomes, he's there again, and I just, if you're asking me who I think is going to win the game, I like the Eagles. I think it's going to be a close one because Mahomes still has little tricks that he can do, and there's still defensive game to be played, and special teams could have an effect too. So, I mean, they won the championship game, right? So
Mhm.
there's no reason they can't win the Super Bowl. However, you have a Philadelphia defense that's going to come at you like rabid dogs chasing down extra rabies pills.
Yeah, they were on it last week. That's for sure. We'll see what happens. You know what? Whatever happens one week never happens the next week. So I wouldn't be surprised if the defense didn't even show up for some reason, and the score was high scoring. The NFL to me is too hard to predict. You do way better at that than me. That's not what I do good. That's for
Well,
sure.
I will say this: the Eagles, they need to run the ball to win the game. Okay,
Oh,
they have to run the ball, and Hurts is a big part of that. They have to run the ball. They have to be successful at that. Andy Reid's, experience with the game. You're gonna have, if you want to beat him, you're gonna have to run the ball. And you know,
yeah,
they
control the clock, not
they
make
got to be able to
mistakes.
stop the run too because they were what, number 16 in the run. But that's neither here nor there. I like the hit, the storylines. You got Fletcher Cox. He's old. He's been playing a long time. You got the Kelsey brothers. You got Andy Reid against former employee. You got all this like cool stuff, and they're both respectable teams. And who's the halftime show? Rihanna. That's a
Yeah.
great halftime show. So there's gonna be other artists too. So I'm excited, for the Super Bowl and the teams that are in it. I like the Eagles. I picked them pretty much from the beginning. So they're going to win it. There's just nothing that can stop them right now.
There is. The league loves Mahomes.
Well,
The
all
league.
right. So I'm interviewing you. Hey, Patrick, it's a couple weeks here. You got the Super Bowl coming up. How do you feel about it? And what do you think you need to do there as one of the team's captains to get the team ready for the big day, the big game, the Super Bowl 57?
Well, first off, I just want to thank God for everything, and I want to thank my teammates. I wouldn't be here without them. Um, Andy Reid, great coach, puts together a good game plan, and we go out there and we do our best.
So how are you going to handle this high ankle sprain? Everyone's curious to know. Are you putting full weight on it? Are you practicing at a normal level, or are you favoring it? Do you have doctors coming to your house to wrap it at night? And how do you feel? And how do you feel that it's going to be by the time the Super Bowl is here? How's that ankle going to treat you?
Well, good news is I do I do have a new doctor. Miss Piggy has just been certified. So yes, she has been rubbing it down.
Yeah.
I should be fine. I was good to go last week, as you saw.
Yeah. How did you feel after the game, Pat? Did you feel any discomfort for the evening, or was it swollen up the next day? And did you ever end up taking the tape off, or is it the original tape from when you first hurt yourself?
Well, I'm a frog, so as soon as I get done with the game, I go in the water and the bandages just fall off.
Too bad Patty Mahomes isn't here. His mouth is,
You
curly
know what
here.
else I don't like about him
Oh, geez. What are
is
you?
what it always looks like he's gonna bite his tongue off, doesn't it? Is that his mouth guard
Yeah.
or what is that?
He likes
That's
to,
like the Michael Jordan when he'd always go, you know.
he likes to do the alphabet with his tongue. That can be associated to a lot of different practices in life. But
Sorry, as a Bills fan, we got to pick on him because
well, we have to. It's Pat Mahomes and what is he saying pre-snap? Jawan 80. What is it? Like, what is he saying? We know that Aaron Rodgers is green 18. Because and then
Omaha
Omaha was Peyton Manning, and then you got green 32 or whatever. But what is he actually saying? It sounds like
green,
no, he's not saying green.
green for frog.
Oh, he's saying green 80,
Yeah,
or is he saying bright green 80, or he's saying something?
I'll have to pay more.
Thomas out in the audience, do you know what he's saying? If
I'll
you
have to,
if you do, help me out because I've been googling it for the whole year and I can't figure it out. I know all these quarterbacks have their cadences. His is just one that I want to crush. I want to crush his larynx. when he's doing it, and then when he's running out to the huddle, he does this. Like he's doing it for no reason. He's not even. It's just like he's trying to.
Yeah, or when he underthrows and he tells the receiver to come like this. He's like,
Yeah. You got to come closer next time. All right,
yeah,
buddy. Maybe you throw it further.
yeah.
But yeah, let's pick on Patty Mahomes. Let's call it a pick on Patty Mahomes.
It's easier to pick on him than Hurts. Hurts, I have a lot of respect for Jalen Hurts on that side.
I know you can't pick on him. He's been such a
No.
professional example of how a quarterback should be. He wins games. He's not loud. He's not in the media causing problems. He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, he's doing his job. I mean, he does it well. They're way better with him in the lineup, obviously, which we've seen this year already.
Sure.
Just as I've talked about this before, but just as a ability to pick up first downs in key moments, third down, and he was running it for a first down, extending drives. That's what he does best. And obviously the goal line runs. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I just it's one of those things too. Like these guys came, from the same coaching tree, obviously. So you're gonna have, Papa Bear and Baby Bear playing against each other, and so there's gonna be, I bring these things up because they do play a factor. I don't care what people say. I don't care what NFL Network, ESPN, whatever. There's emotions involved. That's a mental part of the game, and yeah, is it just another football game? Yeah, but it is at such a high volume, as far as Vegas, and it's the game of the year. The lowest price ticket for a single person to even think of walking in the stadium is like $1,000.
Yeah, for single seats, that's nuts.
Right. So it's a huge event. There's lots of pressure. There's, pressure to win. There's people up for contracts, and so it's not just another football game. And again, they're kids. Most of them in their 20s, making millions, and everybody's telling them what to do, and everyone that's telling them what to do is telling them something different. So it's a huge dynamic involved, adds stress to it. So, you asked me who I think is going to win. I think Philadelphia is going to win for sure, because I think that they have more of a grip on their mission this year. Kansas City has won. They earned their way to the Super Bowl, but there was times where it seemed like it could go bad.
Yeah, you almost feel like in the AFC Championship game is the Super Bowl, don't you? Like more so than the NFC.
Well, when they're pre-selling tickets to Atlanta for a possible AFC Championship between the Bills and the Chiefs before the Bengals even came to town, what's that tell you? I mean,
let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's what it tells me from now on. Or order that refund so you can get a refund.
Yeah, that's just another mind game. That's not something that should be determined until.
No, it shouldn't. You know why? Because if I was that team that I'm playing, I would be so upset, and that's just extra motivation to what the heck are they doing? They already counted us out.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. So you could use that.
Well, they did. They came into Buffalo and spanked us like a little baby.
Yeah, they did.
Hey, anybody, what are you gonna do?
That's the facts. I mean, Bills fan or not, you got to be able to take it on the chin, and we sure did. We took that.
Well, you know what though? There was no backlash. I mean, Stefan had his little moment, and I have to agree with Brandon Bean and other people that made this response. I want Stefan on my team. I want him to behave that way because it shows that he wants to win.
Yeah,
I don't want someone to leave calm, smiling. He left because he was angry. I would have probably done the same thing. Okay, there was bad play calling. That's another show we can get into at another time. Bad play calling, but we got Super Bowl 57 up. But before that, we have this whole new arrangement for Pro Bowl weekend. They're doing, obviously skills competitions that they've done in the past, but now they're doing this flag football game. I think it's cool, actually, to be honest, because the Pro Bowl was getting to a point where it was almost boring because they would catch the ball and they wouldn't tackle each other anyways, and it was just kind of soft. What is your take on the flag football? Do you think that's something that's cool? Good idea? Something a little bit more.
Personally, I think I've never really watched a Pro Bowl. It's boring to me.
I used to. It used to be good.
It's never been good.
You don't remember the hit Sean Taylor put on Brian Mormon, our punter?
Yeah, I do remember.
He almost put him in the hospital.
Yeah, but that these aren't those days anymore.
I know, but that's when the Pro Bowl was actually decent. Or
Yeah,
they played.
I haven't watched it in
I mean,
15 years.
When's the last time you saw a punter, first of all, even get tackled, really, let alone
in the Pro Bowl,
friggin' barely paralyzed in a Pro Bowl?
See, just cancel the game. To be honest, why even play that game?
Well, I think it's for the fans. Get some up close experience with them. They're not all suited up in helmets and everything. They can do autographs and give flags away. And
I guess.
I like the idea behind it. I think it's safer. The guys played an extra week in the season, and their bodies want to take a break. Go celebrate. Have a good time. Celebrate having a good season. You made it to the Pro Bowl. You don't have to prove that you're better or you already made it there. Go
Yeah.
have a good time. Bring the family. Low key. I'm all about it. I know people want it to be another game that they can potentially bet on, but I'm fine with it being a flag football. So you pretty much don't care either way. Is what you're saying.
I really don't. I'll watch it, and I'll let you know after.
But what a pizza pie! And
I do like watching the Mannings though. The Manning brothers on
the
their
Manning brothers.
Yeah, I like their show for Monday night. That's for sure. They're funny to me. So I'll probably tune in. I'll check it out. If it's terrible, then I'll turn it off.
Tune in to ESPN for Eli Manning and Peyton Manning when they do coverage on Slime Time with the Pro Bowl, eating Lay's potato chips and Pepsi Colas. And not having a clue about what they're talking about. So, all right. So let me write this down because I'm going to check this. We do have another show next week where you do have a chance to change your mind if you want. Okay. You can change your mind in a week if there's something that happens at practice, injury, whatever. But I am not going to change my mind. I take the Eagles winning the big one over the Chiefs.
I'll take KC 31-27.
31-27. I'm going to say it's going to be 48-17. Eagles win.
Jeez, that's all.
Yep.
Well, we'll see what happens. That's why they play the game.
And
you know why I like the Super
Sunday,
Bowl?
right?
Super Bowl squares. That's about it.
So you're taking the Chiefs over the Eagles.
I am. Andy Reid. That's my only reason.
I just think that even with Andy Reid being obviously the more experienced coach in this case, I just think Sirianni has a more physical team. Defense is going to be a huge thing, and they're going to get to Patty Mahomes. They're going to get to him often.
It's hard to do, but I mean, we'll see what happens. Andy Reid won't let him. The way he can scheme
what's
up
Andy
plays.
Reid going to do? Is he going to go out there and block?
No, but they can scheme plays where he takes 3-step drops and he's
true. But what is Pat going to say to that?
He's all for that. Get the ball out of my hands.
Let me get the ball out of my hands.
Yeah.
You can do it. I can't do his voice. How do you do his voice? So you practice? Is that something like on your spare time? You go home and practice Patty Mahomes lines, or what do you do?
Once in a while.
Watch YouTube replays of his commercials.
I used to be good at fluent at a couple voices as a kid growing up. I lost a few.
What other ones did you?
I could do a pretty good Chewy. I don't know what. We'll save them for a couple different shows.
Who's Chewy? Oh, Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few.
You could still do that one.
I can do that pretty good. But we'll save that one for a different show.
Yeah, we got another one day.
But yeah, he just reminds me of Kermit. That's all.
Kermit the Frog. Anyways, well, you know what? We're pretty much out of time here. Anyways, T.O., any last words? You sure you don't want to change your mind right now from the Chiefs over to the Eagles, or do you want to wait till next week when we're here at 6 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday to finally be ready for the week before the Super Bowl?
Well, Tuesday or next Sunday, 9:05 you'll be seeing me raise the trophy.
That's all I got to say.
All right. Well, we'll be here next week, everybody. Thanks, everyone from inside the studio. Thomas, Woody, my favorite robot, Waitbot, and everybody worldwide. I'm Frankie J. This is T.O. We'll be back next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Fireside with an official pre-show or pre-week pre-show to the Super Bowl that following weekend. And I myself will be here Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time for my regular show, Raw, and we'll be talking about millennials and why they don't know how to balance a checkbook. So be there for that.